guys. I want to quickly run through how to make a graph that looks like this from your data. So first off, you want to make sure that you have a line graph. Second, you want to make sure you don't have to worry about scale because they'll do the scale for you and the numbers as long as you have your numbers in here. You need to make sure that your axes are labeled, okay, with units. And then here we have a legend as well. You also want to make sure the title is correct. On the AP test, if you have to graph, they won't. They usually don't give you a point for a title, but usually what it is that your lines are plotted correctly. You get a point for your axes being correct with units, right? And that your scale is correct. So we want to make sure that we can do this correctly. So I'm going to start from scratch. I obviously got this. This is one of your data, but I got this from the handout that you guys filled out on the document. So you can just go ahead and copy and paste it. Okay. One thing I would recommend is actually including a 0 mark on here. So you can see that first trend a little bit better, right? Because we know that at 0 time, it should be at 0. So let's go ahead and copy this. Okay, so I'm just going to highlight the whole thing. And then I'm going to press insert. And I'm going to go to chart. Okay. And look how much it does for me just by doing that. Okay. Not that much more to do from here. Okay. The only thing that you are going to now do is we need to make sure, well, we have our legend. Okay, so it shows us that our blue line was at 2 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide. Our 5 milliliters was our control with 5 milliliters, and then 10 milliliters is the yellow and should be the fastest. Okay. You should also see, whoopsies. You should also see that this title comes out as whatever the groups are. So I'm going to change this to oxygen produced over time with different amounts of substrate. Different amounts of substrate. Our substrate in this case, remember, substrate was the hydrogen peroxide. Okay. Beautiful. So as long as you have your IV and your DV in here, it doesn't really matter what the title is, as long as it includes your independent and your dependent variable. You could really write the same thing as your paper title as well. So we have our time in seconds. Beautiful, beautiful. The thing that I want to point out that is missing is this y-axis label. Okay, it gave me time, but it doesn't actually know what these are in milliliters, which is just our amount of oxygen produced. I do want to point out something that I noticed in office hours, or I didn't notice, but I know is something important, is these numbers that you start with over here. These numbers, they cannot have seconds in them. They can't have any letters. If they have letters, it's going to make your graph all sorts of weird. Okay, so you have to make sure to get rid of that if you put that there. Right? This should say milliliters on the top, right? And if it does, then guess what? We know that the rest of these are milliliters, so it shouldn't be a problem. Okay. We're also going to make sure that our units are on the side of this, so we will be good. So let's go ahead and edit our chart. And we're going to go to customize. Okay. And then in customize, I'm going to go to chart and axis titles. I'm already good on my horizontal axis title, but I'm going to go down to choose my vertical axis title, and I'm just going to write the amount of oxygen produced. This is because I already made it, so it gives me it as a dropdown. You guys will have to write this. The amount of oxygen produced, and I also have my units. Okay, and then guess what? There it is. Puts it on there for us. And then all you have to do is copy your table, or I'm sorry, your chart. Okay, so you can either copy, you can just copy Control C, right? And then you go back to your document and you can paste it wherever you need to, right? I don't know. I copy and pasted it to the same exact thing. Okay, but you'll have to copy and paste it back into your document. Hopefully that was helpful if you guys needed it. Good luck on your lab. I know you guys are going to crush it. See ya.